Riders. My name is Julia Baker and I'm with the American Lung Association. And today Charlie here is going to show us how to change a flat tire.
All right. So whether you're pulling the bike out of the garage for the first time in months or you're out on the road and you get a flat, you're going to want to know how to change a tube. It's going to save you a lot of time and money and you won't get stranded out there on the course. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that all the air is relieved out of the tube in the tire.
So first, before that, how do I know if my tire is flat?
I mean, it's gonna be noticeable when you're riding your bike.
Okay.
Especially on a mountain bike, you're gonna have a lot more drag. It's gonna be much more difficult to pedal, and then on a road bike, you're gonna feel every bump.
Okay.
So it'll be pretty noticeable. And at that point, just pull over the side of the road. Make sure you have plenty of room along the side, along the shoulder, and you'll be safe. And then also make sure the ground wherever you're at is clear, because you're gonna have little parts that you're probably gonna drop, and you want to make sure that those don't get lost and you're able to retrieve them.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So the first step here is make sure all the air is out of the tube. And then before you take off, you're gonna wanna make sure that you have a couple of extra tubes within your bag. So I have a road bike here, and you can pick up a bag for a few bucks at any local bike shop, but make sure you have a couple of extra tubes and some tools as well. So these you're gonna wanna have a set of tire levers. And some tires and tubes are going to come off of a wheel easier than others, but these will help you significantly. Another thing you're going to want to have is some kind of pump, which you can attach to the side of your bike. They also sell CO2 canisters with attachments that'll help you just refuel and repump them instantly. So, say I have a flat here, and you have all the air out, then you're going to want to use this lever and to lift the tire out of the canal here. So if you look at this tool here, you're gonna want to get this little edge underneath the tire, and it attaches to this spoke. So if you have a tube or a tire that's a little more difficult to get off the rim, then using multiple levers are gonna help you here. Really all you need are a couple.
So where's the worst place you've ever popped a tire?
Worst place I've ever popped a tire? Well, probably say downtown. Popped a few downtown or alongside of a road. It's just the worst spot is just when you don't have cell reception or you're stuck and you can't get the tube off. That's how the worst spot is.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
say it most commonly happens out in the country. A lot of cyclists trying to reach the beach will pop tires, maybe going over railroad tracks or along the side of the road. So, all right. So you have the tire. You have the tire off the rim. And at this point, you want to find where the valve is. And from there, you can pull the tube out. So press that up. And then you're going to pull it out of the wheel well here, out of the rim.
So you're pulling the innards out
Exactly.
all the way around? Okay.
Yep. So that's what you're going to be replacing. You're replacing the tube and keeping the tire.
And now, maybe dumb question, can you re-inflate an old tube or do you have to replace it every time?
You're going to want to replace it every time. Mind you, so if you look up on Amazon, you can get replacement tubes for around 20 bucks.
Okay.
Or a local bike shop as well. All right. So for the sake of this, use this tube here. So you have the fresh tube, and before you begin here, you're going to do two things. One is you're going to want to inflate the tube a little bit so it'll go easy. It'll go in the wheel well pretty easily. One of the greatest issues you'll have is the tube will be deflated and it'll pinch with the tire and the wheel well and the rim once you inflate it, and that'll cause it just to pop immediately.
So you want to make sure it's got just at least a little bit of air in it.
Exactly.
Beforehand, okay. Sure.
There you go. And then from there, go ahead and make sure that you have one side of the tire that's inside the rim. Okay, one that's out. And then locate where your valve is on the rim. See, it's right here.
You want to get a little close up on there for the people who... Okay, valve, thank you.
So when you put the tube in, you're going to start with the valve, and that'll just create a nice little foundation.
Okay.
And from here, you're just taking your time, making sure that that tube is inside the rim,
Okay.
and that
Okay.
the tire remains up top.
So while you do that, where is your favorite place in the kind of Portland greater area to go riding?
So I spent a lot of time in college down in McMinnville.
Okay.
I'd say there are beautiful vineyards out there, and it's probably my favorite area to ride around. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I bought a bike during COVID-19 back in March as something to get to do and just to kind of learn more about Portland. And I've been doing a lot of the trails in the Selwood area.
Nice.
Over the bridge. They have a nice big loop that starts in Selwood, and then you can go downtown and back around. It's about 10 miles, which is my sweet spot.
That's perfect, yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's great. Getting
And,
into cycling and living in Portland, because there's so many different trails that you can go and ride on.
and so on an average year, if you cycle, how often do you think you pop a tire? Is it a frequent?
Good question. I'd say, I mean, it depends where you're riding,
Okay.
but roughly once every 3 or 4 or 5 rides.
Yeah.
So it really varies on where you're riding and what kind of tube and tires you have.
Sure. And how's it going? Is it giving you trouble?
It is.
Oh,
It
I'm
is.
sorry.
It's okay.
It's good. It's good to know that if people struggle, you're not the only one.
Exactly.
He's a professional and he's having a hard time. But it's been good. And I think this is a good reminder, kind of when you're doing your My Ride, to be prepared and to have all the supplies with you, because part of coordinating your own ride means you won't have the lovely Charlie here to fix your flat tire. You'll have to watch our video and you can do it at home. And
That's right.
yeah.
And it never hurts to bring it to your local bike shop before you go out on your first ride. Many of them will repair it, make sure all the tire pressure is correct, and replace the tube for you for free.
Wow, that's a really great tip. Thank you.
All right, so here we go. The tube's in, got the tire outside, and from here we're gonna work from the valve and slowly push the outside of the tire inside the well here. And so this is where it gets difficult for some types of tubes and some types of bikes, because the tire is just so, it fits real tight along the frame. So again, your friend is going to be the tire, or this crank here, and you can use it to push the tube or the tire over the rim here.
Hey,
There you go.
we're in business.
That's right. So before you inflate it, go ahead and kind of pinch and rotate it. And what you're doing is you're just making sure that, that tube isn't caught in between the tire and the rim.
Okay.
Or else you'll have to do the entire thing over again all at once. And from there, go ahead and inflate your tire and you're good to go. That's it.
Then we gotta put it back on the bike though, right?
You do, yes. No problem. So it depends where you're at, and it depends on the type of bike. But for a road bike, you want to have the PSI to be anywhere from 80 to 120.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Okay, so you detach the pump.
attach the pump. And so if you're out there on the road and you have one of these, you're not going to know the pressure, obviously.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where you're just going to have to go by feel and make sure it's rock hard before you pull it.
Oh, sorry, you want it to be hard, not just...
That's right, yeah. So if you don't have a reference, hopefully you have a bike pump at home and just get a feel of the tire pressure
Okay.
before you take off and try to replicate that while you're on the road.
Okay. Or we could always feel the front tires.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully you don't
There you
pop
go.
both at once.
That would be,
It'd be a long
might be
day.
in trouble. Alright. There we go. Tires inflated.
Okay.
Gonna go ahead and just put it on our bike here,
Okay.
and we're gonna go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then you'll ride off into the distance.
That's
right.
right. That's right.
All right, now we are ready to ride. Thank you so much, Charlie, for showing us how to fix a flat. And thank you so much, My Riders, for tuning in today.